Hello and welcome to the Final Fight podcast. James is not with us again this week, but I assure you he is back with us for next week coming. So it's just me and Joe tonight. How are you, Joe?
Yeah, good mate, you?
Yeah, very well. Looking forward to this weekend.
Definitely, mate. I think there's a few nice horses in there to get hopefully us all back on the tally because I think it's been a bit of a tough week for everyone. As you know, looking on Twitter and all the social media, some short prices getting beat and stuff like that. So, no, fingers crossed a good weekend of racing. It's stacked full of good horses, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster, the flat this year. This year. So right, let's get rolling. So we'll start off with the Curragh, the Group 3, the Anglesey Stakes. Have you got a selection in this?
I do, mate. Pearls and Rubies, I think. Definitely the strongest form. To be fair, there was a horse in there that I did like called Islands in the Dream, so I'm going to mention that anyway. So I'd have a look at that one next time on. But Pearls and Rubies, I thought was not unlucky at Ascot, but he was in a smaller group and he sort of had to take the lead a lot earlier. And he looked to get a bit lonely out. He was a bit far away from everyone else, where I believe it was Snellen who won the race. Just had that bit of company just in behind to like keep the horse going, and where Pearls and Rubies was a bit isolated, and he was coming back at the line, but no excuses there. But I think he's definitely the one to be here, and we all know what Ryan and Aiden combinations like in Ireland are very strong, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm going to second that. Pearls and Rubies is the main choice for me. I think she's got the best form on offer here. Second to Snellen in the Chesham. I think it was by a head or a short head. I think that was a good run. She's been backed into evens on 365 that I'm looking at. So I think the fancier. The one I would bet on to outrun the odds, probably a nice each way price, is Gunsberg.
Yeah, he's run some classy
Probably wasn't
races.
suited. Yeah, probably wasn't suited last time out when stepping back to 5 furlongs. But there was a good run over 6 in a Group 2 at the Curragh when he was second to Matrika.
Yeah,
So I think at 10-1 he could outrun his price. But yeah, Pearls and Rubies for me, and that is a
yeah.
good
Because
bet.
didn't Matrika run at Royal Ascot and then he had a quick turnaround in that race? He went off got pretty short price, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he ran at Royal Ascot. I don't know where he finished, and then he came and won this fairly
He
easily.
won,
To be
won
fair.
it quite well. But like you say, to be totally honest, I think if Pearls and Rubies goes that short on the day, I probably wouldn't put anyone off playing this a small forecast in that. I think Pearls and Rubies first and Gunsberg second. Like I say, I just think Aiden and Ryan are so strong over there.
Oh no, definitely. Right, that was short and sweet. We'll move on. The next race is the 310 at the Curragh. It's the Sapphire Stakes. Do you want to take us off on this
Yeah,
again?
mate. To be fair, I really like this horse. Ladies Church was brilliant on a reappearance when pulling away in the final furlong. Looked as if it was going to be quite a tough race, and I think it ended up winning by 4 lengths. Obviously, the clock proved it as well. 57 seconds, which is a very fast time, which does sort of show the fact that ran at Maidan first 2 runs of the season and come nowhere really over 6 furlong. And I think that was a bit of a fitness aspect, getting the horse out, getting it fit for the season. It's definitely a step up a grade in terms of the listed success last race. However, they targeted this race last year and won it. And I feel this year they're doing exactly the same. The booking of Ryan was positive. For me, it's a very weak Group 2. I think it'll take all the beating out of stall 3. Get a nice sit. You've got no one better on the horse than Ryan Moore. I think it's about 4-1 now, which I think is a good price. Are you sticking with me, Rich, or are you going elsewhere?
It's not one I looked at, to be honest with you. So I think you'd be pretty brave to back against Art Power, who just seems to love the track. Runs no sort of race in the UK, but as soon as he comes over to the Curragh, I think he's won his last 3 races that he's come over. He's been
Who's
actually
the
back.
jockey on board?
David Allen is taking the ride,
Oh, Dave Allen.
who has won with the Curragh with him before.
Yeah.
He opened up at 7-4 on 365. He's now into 5-4, so he's been nibbled at. There's a couple I like at a good reach way sort of price. Maria Branwell is 25-1. Stumbled out the stalls last time out, which kind of put an end to a race. Really, if you don't start well over 5 furlongs, unless you're somebody like Shaquille, your race is pretty much over. So I think that's reflected in the odds. I think she may have been overlooked. So I think she could outwin her odds at 25-1. The other one I quite like is White Lavender.
Yeah. Is that
6-1. I think they'll like the soft conditions. Winner last time out at Longchamp. Was head second in the Abeid in the Art Weekend, which is a Group 1 on very soft ground, which I think is very good form. So
is that Carl Berkowitz?
It's Carl Burt, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're the two I'd probably chance against the favourite. But like I say, I backed out Power against her last time and she bolted up at the Curragh. So it's
that horse had quite a bit of support earlier on in the year, I think, White Lavender. I know Carl Berg mentioned it a few times, but I know I did, to be fair, Dave Allen coming over with that Power is, pretty strong in itself. But it was just the way this horse won. It won last year, 55 seconds for a 5 furlong sprint, and it was at the Curragh. Is a very fast time for me. But like you say, I mean, I watched a few races from Ireland earlier on, and it does not look like you're going to get anywhere near good ground there. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think leading on to this next race, it's probably going to help one of the horses.
I'd have thought so. So who was you selecting that again? Sorry.
My selection is Ladies' Church.
Ladies' Church, perfect. And I will go with White Lavender and Marie Branwell each way. Right. We'll move on to the main race, the Juddmonte Irish Oaks at 3:45.
Let you read this one off, Rich.
I assume we're going to be on the same horse, but I think Save the Last Dance is perfect for this. I love the conditions. Bolted up at Chester when it was horrendous, the ground there. And if they get some more rain over in Ireland, I think this will suit her down to the ground. Obviously, Ryan Moore's on board, which is a positive. Picks her over Warm Heart, who's second favourite at 4-1. I mean, the money's come for her. She's now 5-6 on, so she's not really any sort of price to be backing. But if you want to put her in some sort of multiples and combinations, I'd have thought that's it's a solid bet there. Like I say, yeah, Save Last Dance, Warm Heart is Aiden's second string, potentially the forecast there. First, second is maybe the bet to go, I'd have thought.
Yeah. It's just, obviously I do like Save the Last Dance, and I did write in my notes, if the rain comes, then there's no questions asked. That is the horse to win that race. But do you know what? Blue Stocking always catches my eye. Now, I thought Frankie's ride on this horse was shocking at Royal Ascot. I don't think the soft ground will help, to be honest, but he was very green when he ran against Warm Heart and Newbury, and he just got touched off. But like I say, I think if the rain continues to come, a stride at Chester was unbelievable. The way she ate up that ground, I mean, no horse could live with her. And to be fair, what impressed me was a lot, and I was in that camp as well. I'd written her off for the Oaks. I said no chance, and I did back Soul Sister, but the ground was very, very hard, a massive change in conditions, and she did stay on and was only beaten less than 2 lengths in the end. Obviously, Soul Sister's been in France and stuff, and I wouldn't say boosted the form, but she's sort of put the form out there. It is very good form, and like I say again, I think Save the Last Dance is a crop above these, especially out of soft ground. I think it'll be a sort of a penalty spot kick for it.
Yeah, I mean, she was well fancied for the Oaks at Epsom. I mean, she was backed into odds on again. So Connections obviously fancied her for that, and they fancy her again for this. So maybe some compensation for Connections.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, they've put two. They've got 2 in the race as well, but obviously they've definitely got a favourite with Ryan jumping on board. And to be fair, it'll be a good race because a few of these are unexposed. Blue Stocking hasn't raced much at all. He's been up against Walmart before, but was very, very keen and green, as you'd say. And then at Royal Ascot, trapped on the rail, conceded first run. Warm Heart hasn't ran much, and Save the Last Dance should win, but you never know.
Yeah, good stuff. Right, moving on. The Curragh Cup 420, the Group 2. Do you want to kick us off for this one?
Yeah, can do, mate. Bit of a strange race, really. I'm not with Emily Dickinson at all here. I don't know. There's just something about her. last season, and this is the horse, the reason I'm picking this horse is Ross Carberry. I think the price the wrong way around. Last season, over 1 mile 6, Ross Carberry beat Emily Dickinson, and Ross Carberry was carrying 9 stone 12 pound, and Emily was carrying 8 stone 9 pound. Now that's a huge weight difference to come and turn over here. I know she'll have aged and 4-year-old now, and Ross Carberry's 5, but Ross Carberry's reappearance was impressive. Ran well and was clear 1 furlong out, and just got a bit sort of, the jockey said wandered around. So obviously nothing near, close the gap, was rolling around. Dropped down in trip the last time out, badly hampered against Via Sustina over 1 mile 2. Didn't think she wanted that trip at all. I just can't have Emily Dickinson for me. I think a head carriage at Royal Ascot wasn't great, and I think she's a bit slow. But you never know. Like I say, it's Ryan and Aidan. They seem to pick perfect races for their horses. What are you thinking?
Oh, you see, I quite like Emily Dickinson for this.
I
The
do.
only concern is the drop back to 1 mile 6.
Yeah,
I think the further she goes, the better she is. She's all about stamina. She's slow as an old boat, but if they're going to get the rain and the conditions, soft ground, she's going to be staying on and she's going to be keeping going whatever the rest are doing. So the more rain, the better for her. I thought it was quite a respectable running at Ascot on the good ground. I think she finished 4th. That was over 2 miles. She needed every bit of that distance. So that is my only concern, stepping back to 1 mile 6. But if it's soft ground, I think that's going to play to her strengths. So it might feel like a 2 mile race to everybody else. So I would probably give her a chance. I think she deserves to get at least 1 win this season, and hopefully it'll be
definitely. That was the only point for me as well that I've written down. Ross Carberry's very unexposed over this trip. You sort of gambling on that, not unexposed, but you're gambling on he's still back up to that because he's been over 1 mile 4, 1 mile 2 this year, where at least Emily will stay the trip and will stay at Welcher. A fastest furlong will be the last type of thing. But like I say, I think it might get a bit tactical because obviously I don't think many of these have been over 2 mile, and will they want a stamina test? I think Ross Carberry will want a speed test. Obviously, running over 1 mile 2 against Via Sustina in Ireland, the horse clearly isn't short speed. And then you've got Emily Dickinson who want to make the race feel like a 2 mile 4. For me, it wasn't a bad run at Royal Ascot. I just thought a head carriage was a bit strange. But like you say, Aidan's obviously pitched her in thinking she'll win. And I do think it is a bit of a weak Group 2 here, and they could take advantage.
I think Ryan might try and make it a bit of a test of stamina.
Yeah, I do.
And I think that's only going to play to her strengths. So that's why I'm going to go for her. Right, moving on to, we'll go to Newbury next. The 3 o'clock Hackwood Stakes, the Group 3 over 6. Yeah. Do you want me to kick off on this one?
Yep, go ahead, Rich.
So I like the favourite, the Zoo.
Yeah.
Basically a Group 1 horse that drops down to a Group 3, so I think that stands out a mile. Beat Meditate in the Cheveley Park last season. Didn't really see out the mile in the Guineas. And it was only 10th at Royal Ascot, but was drawn completely the wrong side, I think, in that race. All the top 3 was all drawn completely away from her. So I think I can put a line through that. My only concern is the ground. I don't think she'd want it too soft. But I do think she is the best horse in the race, and whether or not that's enough to see her through. Frankie's back on board. I think he might have a point to prove after his ban. So I'd probably side with her. One I do like at a biggish price is Eraz at 12s.
Yeah.
I think he's a horse that will like the soft ground, and if it is proper soft, I think he'll definitely outrun his odds and might even get a price at 12 to 1. I think that's not a bad each way bet. But yeah, I do like the Zoo at 4s in this. What about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I'm on the Zoo as well, to be honest, like you say in my notes, dropping down from Group 1 company. Not disgraced either. He didn't see out the Guineas trip, but wasn't a horrendous run. Gets a nice weight allowance here. And has some unbelievable form. I've just written down some horses. Beat Morge, Meditate, Swing Along and Believing. who have all won at least a group race this season. So if we've got him anything back to the best with Frankie on board, who knows the horse very well, I think they'll be bang there, and I think the horse will be a lot shorter than 4-1 come the day.
Yeah, I think this is going to be like a confidence booster for her. I think dropping down to Group 3 from Group 1 company, I think they're just trying to get that win and try and build that confidence back up.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. So that's the Saturday covered. We'll move on to anything else for Friday and Saturday. Do you want to go first? Because I've got a bit of a list. So if you want to go first, I can.
I was going to say, I think if you went first, I wouldn't be saying anything. But yeah, I'll kick it off Friday at 4:15. Asadna, I think that's how you pronounce it. Ran very well on debut. Will Buick was on. The horse had a brilliant speed figure. Ran at Royal Ascot, did not live up to expectations at all. And then after the race was pulled away from Boys Yard, sent to Wallace Haynes, dropped down in class here. Market dropped down in class. Oisin Murphy on. I think, like you said just a couple of minutes ago, I think it's a confidence booster for this horse. Get your head back in front and kick on to better things. Keep an eye on that one. Then we'll go to Hamilton on the Friday night at 8:00. This is a horse I really do like. Tafsir, £4 rise for her last win. Trainer and jockey after the race said she was very comfortable at the line. Paul Mulrennan is back on board. He was back on board he was the first declaration in the race. Hopefully you get a bit of a price, but they seemed bullish that she'd win next time. And the trainer did say they can't rise her too much because she didn't win by that much, which shows, that they played for that type of thing and they want to win again. Then my last horse, I will go to Newbury on Saturday, 3:35 Relief Rally. Already beaten June at the Berries in comfortable fashion. Was very unlucky at Royal Ascot, I thought, in a Group 2. Seemed to switch twice towards the line and then just got beat by the American horse. But makes a quick reappearance here for a Haggis horse. And I did see an interview from Eve Johnson-Horton. She said that apparently she told Haggis they didn't have to bring this horse here, and if they do, that's the horse they all have to beat. So I think it's sort of, tipping itself, and I think the horse will short. I think it's about 5-4 now. I think we'll go off odds on. But I'll let you finish off with the rest of the 15 runners.
Well, you only mentioned 2 of mine, and I've still got a page worth. So bear with me. I'll go through them as quick as I can. So on the Friday, we've got Newbury at 3:00. Warm Spell. Second on debut to Thunder Blue, who went on to finish 5th in the Group 2, the Norfolk. He was then 4th in another Group 2 at Newmarket, so potentially beaten by a group horse. So I think that's good enough for him to take this. I think he should be winning. I think he's about 5-4 currently. I think that's a good bet. Staying with Newbury, I've got 4 Spring Fever. Made a complete mockery of of his race last time out in the handicap. It's been raised £10 as a result, but I think potentially this could be another case of a group horse in handicap. I mean, he's up to 95. I think he could be well over 100 at some point in the season. So I think the £10 rise is not going to bother him. Kieran Schumacher takes the ride over Haviland, which I think is another positive because, he's not the best, our favourite jockey, is he? So I think he still have maybe up to £10 in this race. I know James does like one in here as well, and he told me to mention it, is Flower of Dubai at 7-2. I think he's second favourite. I mean, he'll have the weight advantage, but my pick Spring Fever, so it's your choice on that. The next one he had was Asada, same as you. Like you say, switch trainers to Alice Haynes. I think she'll be wanting to make a positive impact for the new connections that she's taken on. I think I read somewhere that Bowie threw him in at Ascot knowing that he had a slight knock or a slight injury.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably not uncommon, but I don't think the owners were very impressed, so that's maybe why they swapped that. But yeah, I think, like you say, he could be a good thing. Move on to Newmarket. I've got 5:45 Wild Goddess. So she was only fourth on debut, but she was very, very slowly away. So I think that we can mark that up, and I think there's going to be a big improvement for her. She's now stepping up to 7 furlongs, and with that experience under her belt, I think she'll be getting a win for the boys in blue in that. Newmarket again, 6:55. Jam.
Yeah,
That's the one. So split 2 winners on debut, finishing second at Kempton, and only lost out by a short head when slowly away. I think third time lucky could be a good phrase for this one. I'm sure with that experience, I think it's good form. Beating 2 previous winners on debut, I think that should be getting his head in front. So 7:30 at Newmarket. I then got Royal Symbol. So a respectable run in fourth last time out at Sandown. We're making a return to the track. The last time this horse raced prior to that was December 2001. So you could say blown the cobwebs away. Is race fit coming into this? I think it'll need the run, and I think it should be primed for this. Also in that race, you've got Zirab, who has got Having on board. It's one we've mentioned before. Finished 5th at the Royal Meeting, so that is potentially the stronger form. But like you say, Royal Symbol, I think, is fairly unexposed, not having that many runs. So I'd go with that one. My nap tomorrow comes at Hamilton at 7:40. Chess piece. I think this one just has to win. So Godolphin bought this horse after it won a handicap at York. And I think they want to recoup some of that as quickly as possible. And for winning this, they get 31 grand. So I think it's a pot they want to win. James Doyle takes the ride. I think he goes over there just for that, or that's his main ride. I can't recall Godolphin going to Hamilton for many races. So I think this is one they're specifically targeted for it. Ran well at Ascot behind Gregory. Came back to third. Drops back to 1 mile 3 here, which is the same distance what he won at York. The Ascot race was a 1 mile 6, so that's a fairly positive move, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my nap for tomorrow. And the last one for the Friday, I've got Nottingham at 2:15. Never So Brave. Good second on debut to Ancient Wisdom. Another one for Godolphin, who I quite highly rate, and I think has a great chance in next year's Guineas. But it's too early to say how good he's going to be. But I was very impressed with his 2 runs that he's had so far. So I think that's good form. I think similar effort should be enough to take this, to get his win under the belt here. So I'll go with that. Saturday. Don't worry, I'm nearly done. Saturday, I've got 1:15, Newbury, Savvy Kingdom. Third at Windsor last time out, but the fourth has come out and won. And the third in that race has also won. I think he's got the experience in this race. So I think, like you say, experience counts for a lot when you run these sorts of races. And I think that should be enough to take this. You've got 150, Epic Poet. So this was a previous win over in France. I think he's joined a new yard for the UK. He's never run over here. But he's got form on soft and heavy going over in France, and I think that could play a factor in this. He's a good price at 7-1 as well. I think because he's a bit of an unknown, I think could outrun his odds and might have a little dabble each way on that at the price. 2:25, we've got Novel Legend. Again, holds good form on soft going. I think he finished behind one of the favourites in this, but I kind of fancy him to reverse the form. I don't think last time out the race was ran to suit. I think it was a bit of a slow pace. I expect to see a better performance than that. Saturday again, I've got Relief Rally that you've mentioned, so I'll not cover that. You covered that well. And I think it's the last one. 1 second. Oh no, it's not. So 3:40 Newmarket, One Nation. So flopped last time out at Ascot, but has run well in Maidan. It was Buick's first choice at Ascot to take the ride, so obviously held in high regards. James Doyle takes the ride here. I think, again, he probably will outrun his odds because at Ascot, I think Buick knew his race was over and just kind of went quite easy on him. Yeah. Another one that James has told us we've got to mention, he takes me on again in this. He likes Liberty Lane.
He does.
And I think that is potentially the danger. I think that's... I think he could do me in that one, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I've only got two more. So the last one is the second to last one. Sorry, Newmarket 4:15 Time Lock. It's a horse that keeps getting mentioned on this podcast, and I'm determined that this is a good horse, and it's only a matter of time before it wins. And I think it could be on Saturday. So highly tried in group races, steps up in trip, which I think is what he's been crying out for. I mean, he's been staying on well. He's just not been able to get his head in front. So I think stepping up in trick is going to bring out more improvement. The main danger is going to be Navaki, who probably brings the best form. But I think the second to Haskell last season is good. Is good form for time lock. I think that is potentially stronger than Navaki's. So I think it could be his time. And last but not least is another one that we've mentioned and tipped and won last time out is Unequal Love, who runs at Ripon at 3:20. This was Haggis's dark horse to follow for the season. Won well over 6 furlongs. The jockey takes a handy £3 off, and I think more improvement's going to come from her. So hopefully we'll get another one next to her name. And you'll be pleased to know that's all I have. So we can now move on to Sunday.
I tell you what, Rich, that was very impressive, mate. We'll have to get, when you do these, we'll have to get them sort of bullet point up and put on Twitter as sort of like a, ones to follow.
A full page. Oh, page and a bit.
I love that, mate.
So we'll move on to Sunday. It gets a bit tricky because, like you say, declarations aren't fully out, but we will do our very best. So we've got the Curragh 2:00, the Anglesey Stakes, Group 3. Do you want to kick off? Because I've talked quite a bit over the last 5-10 minutes.
To be honest, Rich, I didn't pick anything for this race. Disappointing, I know, but honestly, there was not much I really fancied at all. What's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I was struggling, but I've managed to pick one out. Whether or not he runs, I'm not 100% sure, but if he does, he would be my pick. And it's Zarinsk.
Sorry, so is this race 2:00 or 3:00? 2:00. Sorry, mate.
Oh, it's a 2:00. My bad.
No, you've got it right. The Racing Post must have this wrong, and because I've written it all down, I've got Curragh 3:00, not Curragh 2:00. I do apologise, mate. I do have a horse for this race.
Oh no, I apologise. I clicked on the wrong banner. 1 second. There we go. There we go. Sorry, right. It's because the banners went back to the start. Right, we'll not start again. Don't worry.
No, panic over there. I was
panic
thinking,
over.
I'm sure I didn't miss a race.
No, it's because I was clicking on the next one. It jumped back to the top. So
all right, no worries, mate.
It's all right. My bad. Like I say, James is back next week. He can be in charge of all this.
Yeah.
So
I'll let you carry on, mate. You
carry on. 3:00. Curragh. Zarinsk is one I picked out. Whether or not he runs, like I say, I'm not 100% sure. But was an impressive win last time out in Group 3. Respectable 4th over in France in a Group 2. As form on soft and heavy ground. I think that should be enough to win something like this. So if he runs, that'd be my pick.
Yeah, I like Tarawa. He's already been beaten by Zarinsk earlier in the season, but Zarinsk had a run into him. Tarawa was sort of fresh. Then stepped forward in the 1,000 guineas when beaten 3 lengths, which wasn't bad form at all. Bumped into one enlisted race last time out, but the clock backed it up. 1 minute and 36 seconds was the time. 3 seconds faster than the 1,000 guineas. All over the same trip, albeit the day of the Curragh in the listed race was good to firm and the guineas was good. But like I say, 3 seconds faster just shows, even though he comes second by half a length, it was an impressive time. Ground versatile, however, Zarinsk does have the better form on soft. So we'll have to see if they both go off, one goes. But he's progressed on every run, ratings-wise. And I quite like this one, to be honest. Like I say, you don't know who's declared, do you? So when it gets to the Sunday, it gets pretty tough, doesn't it, in terms of who will go and whatnot. But no, I quite like Tarawa.
No, good stuff. Right, and last but not least, the last group race on the Sunday, the MJ Kennedy Memorial Stakes, the Group 3. Who have you decides to go for a very tricky week again with not many
Like I say
declarations.
again,
But
I think it's pretty tough. If this horse does run, I would like it. Sounds of Heaven. We seen it at York. Beaten 1 1/4 length behind Tahira at Royal Ascot, which is great form. Big Queen for You and Silver Lady when it come over from Ireland to York. Obviously stepped up from that to only be beaten by 1 1/4 lengths by Tahira. Lightly race, scope for improvement. Will the horse run? I don't know, but if it does, it's definitely worth a mention and a watch and see what price it's at. Anything caught your eye?
it's very tricky. The two that I looked at was American. Is it Sonia?
Yeah.
So was only third last time out to Zering. So potentially I'd see how Zaris. Sorry, I can't even say it. Zerings runs and the race for if it does run before backing. The other one I looked at was Be Happy for O'Brien. Third last time out on soft going over in France in a Group 3. I think potentially he'll come on for that and improve. And like I say, O'Brien dominates these sort of races in Ireland. So we'll see what runs. But
yeah, definitely.
If he runs, I'd probably side with that one.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else for Sunday?
Do you know what, mate? I don't. I checked the tracker and I was looking through, and you don't know who's running or whatnot. There might be horses that pop up that, sort of ping out the page. But as of now, mate, I've got nothing. I know you will. What have you got?
I only have one, to be pleased to know.
Yeah.
Again, if it runs, no idea. But Content for O'Brien, I didn't write down what time it runs. 2 o'clock at the Curragh, if it runs. Ran no sort of race last time out, but on debut, ran pretty well. Was third, but there was only a head between first, second, and third, I think, that time out. So I expect improvement to come. Was well, I think he was due to race a few weeks back and was well fancied, but they withdrew him. So I've no idea if he's going to run here, but that's potentially one I'd keep an eye out for if it was going to run.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it does get tough towards the end, doesn't it? Especially when you're doing it on a Thursday for a Sunday, because the declarations have just come out today for Saturday. So you've got sort of no, well, you do have an idea, but you've got no hope on definitely who's running. So anyway, it was let's say balancing out wise from your Sunday, anything else from your Friday, Saturday? What was your average? 10 a day?
I think I had 16 in total, so
very impressive.
Right, naps and next bests. Who is your next best for the weekend?
My next best for the weekend is Ladies' Church in the 3:10 at Curragh.
Very good, very good. Mine was Chess Piece on tomorrow, but he's odds on now, so I'm not 100% sure I can go for that. So I will pick. 1 second, let me just check my notes. I'm gonna have a go on Pearls and Rubies.
Yeah,
I think that's a good solid bet.
Yeah,
and your nap?
My nap is Pearls and Rubies, mate. I really like this horse. I think it'll be tough to beat.
Very good. Mine again was Save the Last Dance, who was evens when I did this, but I think he's now odds on. So potentially I might have to pick another. If I was gonna pick another, I would probably go for 1 second. Let me just check my notes. I'll tell you what. I'll change Pearls and Rubies to my nap, same as you, because I think it's still evens. And next best, I'll go Emily Dickinson because I've got a soft spot for that horse, and I think she deserves to win at least one race this year.
Yeah, good shout.
So yeah, right. The final word. What have you got to say?
The final word. It is a good, very, very good weekend of racing. And to be honest, I mean, like anything else sort of said it as well. There's good horses racing all over. You've got Chess Piece at Hamilton, Azadna at Newbury tomorrow. You've got Relief Rally at Newbury. You've got Curragh. You've got you've got sort of all sorts of racing, but all of top quality. Even in the listed races, I think you've got some group horses in there. So watch all the racing you can, enjoy it. It's definitely been a roller coaster, but I would say you're on the home straight, if you like. Now we've had a lot of the main meetings out the way, so follow our naps on the Telegram. Hopefully, make you some money and enjoy the weekend. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, there's a lot of racing to go out this weekend. I think that's proven with my anything else selection. Been listing off 16 names. So yeah, my eyes will be all over the shop this weekend, watching all sorts of different races. But I think it's a good selection. I think we'll give you hopefully some decent winners there. So like you say, definitely. We are getting to the back end of the season now, so we kind of have some idea of who's got ability and who's potentially not going to make it. The cliff horses, yes. So let's see what it brings and roll on next week. Is it the King George next week? I think
it is, mate. Yeah, and like I said, some very classy horses involved in there, but just enjoy it. And one thing I would say is you sort of keep your bets to not a minimum, but even if there is a good race, you don't have to have a bet in it. If just watch it, and if there's a strong fancy, go for it. But you don't have to have a bet in every race. Enjoy it. We will. We certainly will. We'll be posting on Twitter. We'll be on Telegram. Enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah. So James is back next week, and I believe there's going to be a special guest joining us as well. So that'll be very, very interesting. So we will see you next week. All the best.
Yeah. All the best. See ya.
See you later.